The Cold War is over. According to multiple reports, Knicks president Leon Rose and Klutch Sports Rich Paul recently met on Friday to clear out all the issues that they had. And I'm happy to report that that meeting ended on a positive note, which likely means that the New York Knicks are looking at a lot of Klutch players and might be making a massive trade. We're going to break down exactly what the report means for the New York Knicks and the potential players they could be looking to trade for. All of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Leon Rose and Rich Paul recently met on Friday, as we mentioned at the top of the show, and they did that to clear out any of the issues that they had remaining, anything that would stop the Knicks and Klutch from making a deal now or down the road. And I'm happy to report, thanks to Steph Bondy, an NBA insider, that meeting was held and it went very well. Let's break down the report before we look at exactly what it could mean for the New York Knicks and their trade targets. According to Steph Bondy, he notes here, the Knicks Klutch Sports hashed out issues after Leon Rose and Rich Paul had a sit-down, which is removing the potential trade obstacle that existed before. Looking into this report further, we see the following. According to Bondy, agent Rich Paul met with team president Leon Rose on Friday, a source told the Post, and things were hashed out during the sit-down. The hope is to move forward with a business relationship. As the Post previously reported, Paul's agency Klutch previously preferred its clients not to join the Knicks. Bondy was not the only NBA insider to speak on this. Obviously, our resident NBA insider himself, Ian Bagley of SNY, also reported the following. NYK president Leon Rose and Klutch Sports Group founder Rich Paul had a positive meeting in NYC today, where what needed to be addressed was addressed per league sources. Both sides look forward to what a new relationship can be in the future. Steph Bondy was the first on this report. Bagley continues here in regards to potentially one of the topics the Knicks were speaking about with Rich Paul during that meeting. According to Bagley, Paul and the New York Knicks executive VP William Wesley previously met to discuss issues that hindered relationships between the New York Knicks and Klutch, whose clients include LeBron James, Jordan Clarkson, Malcolm Brogdon, Dejounte Murray, and Paul had been hesitant to work with New York. Chiming in here is another NBA insider with NBA on NBC Sports, Kurt Halen, who states the following. The meeting between Rich Paul and Leon Rose, this is not a small thing. It opens up some possibilities at the trade deadline. He mentions the following. Klutch represents Dejounte Murray and beyond. What a massive bombshell that was just dropped by Ian Bagley and Steph Bondy. Shout out to those two for giving us this massive update on the New York Knicks and their meeting with Klutch Sports. So finally, after weeks of the talk, after weeks of hearing that they could potentially be meeting, finally now, one day before the Knicks and the Lakers set MSG ablaze and we see the red-hot Knicks take on the Los Angeles Lakers, we now know that Rich Paul and Leon Rose, they met. They hashed out the issues. According to Ian Bagley, it was a positive meeting in New York City, and what needed to be addressed was addressed. Look forward to what a new relationship can be. That was the message coming out of that meeting between Leon and Rich Paul. Now, a lot of people believed that it was only Worldwide West and Rich Paul that had that type of meeting. That's why I mentioned that last report from Ian Bagley, where he stated that in the past, Paul and Worldwide West had spoken regarding the issues surrounding Klutch and the New York Knicks. But obviously nothing came from those talks because nothing really moved forward from them. So I want to set the record clear here. Leon Rose was absolutely at that meeting. Was he the only person at that meeting? I don't know. Was Rich Paul the only person at that meeting? I can't tell you that. But what I can say with absolute certainty, Rich Paul and Leon Rose both were at that meeting on Friday. They both spoke. They both hashed out the issues, they cleared the air, and now they are both looking to move forward in a progressive and likely good business relationship because they don't want to have the same things happen again. They don't want to have the same issues come up again, and they don't want to be in the same situation that they were in a few months ago. They just cleared out the issues. The best thing now for Klutch and the Knicks to do is to move forward, start doing business deals together, show everybody in the league that they are willing to work together, that they are working together, and any issues that they had that may have been present are now in the past. And now they're working toward building a very positive and very good working relationship. And if they do business the right way, then I think that's going to send a message to the entire league. By the way, it's going to do positive things for the Knicks, and it's going to do positive things for Rich Paul and Klutch Sports. Because when you see two people who you thought would never meet together, who would never do business together, come together and do business for the sake of the league, for the sake of the players, that makes everybody look at you a little bit differently. Maybe a little bit more positively. Maybe in a better light. And I think the New York Knicks and Rich Paul, both of those parties could use that. So I think this meeting helps in a lot of ways. Not only with the issues that they had, but also from a perception perspective, it also helps the New York Knicks and Rich Paul. Also the Lakers, I think, to some degree as well, because let's face it, LeBron James, Rich Paul, those two people are some of the main players in the Los Angeles Lakers and the decisions that they make on a daily basis. Let's not get that twisted. But getting back to the New York Knicks, why is this so important for the Knicks? Here's why this is so important. Dejounte Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Clarkson. What do all of those players have in common? Oh, they're all repped by the same agency, Klutch Sports, the same agency that Leon Rose and the Knicks just met with. There's a reason for that. They've been linked to those same players for the last few weeks. My favorite among them being Dejounte Murray, who, by the way, as the weeks continue to go by, if he is not traded, his value is going to continue to sink and go all the way down. That's music to Leon Rose's ear. And if that's music to his ears, he's going to want to trade for him. And if there's no more issues, and according to Steph Bondi here, if they clear the air and they remove the potential trade obstacle, then that means Dejounte Murray. And that trade is now back on the table. Remember all those guys in the comments killing me, saying it's not going to happen, he's clutch, it's never going to come true, you're dreaming? Well, guess what? Everybody better wake up, because I'm awake. After this meeting, it means everything is back on the table. Jordan Clarkson, you may not like him, guess what? He's on the table. Malcolm Brogdon, you may not like him, guess what? He's on the table. Dejounte Murray, you may not like it. You may not like me talking about him so much at length, nearly each and every other episode. But you know what? I have even more reason to talk about him now. The issues that were facing the Knicks in any type of trade with Klutch Sports has now been removed. The only thing now we're waiting on is value. And once Dejounte Murray's value slips and falls low, Leon Rose is going to pounce. He's going to make the trade, and he's going to get Dejounte Murray on this team. Internally, the Knicks love Dejounte. They love the fit between him and Jalen Brunson. By the way, so do I. And I'll say this. For everybody's talking about, oh, the chemistry. You don't want to mess up the chemistry. When you add elite players to a team, elite things can happen. Dejounte Murray is not a scrub. He's not a bad player. He's an amazing player. Former All-Star. Tall, defensive-minded, can play the passing lane, can shoot, can score, can pull defenders, can be a consistent scorer, the scorer that you need with Jalen and Julius, can play with the reserves. I think we forget, because of how bad Atlanta is, that we're going ahead and saying, well, Atlanta's bad in total, so Dejounte Murray's bad. And it's easy to say that. But I think if Dejounte came to the Knicks and played under Tom Thibodeau, he would have new life in his game, he would look even better, and he would show you why he was a former All-Star, and his value would skyrocket. And if you want to say that maybe he's not in the Knicks' future, if his value skyrockets, the Knicks can use his contract, which is very favorable and very trade-friendly, along with a couple of other players and picks, and trade them along for that superstar or star that you want in the first place. So you're not holding yourself back by making this trade. If anything, you're helping yourself. And if the Knicks can do it at a value steal, what are we talking about here? Let's do it. And let's talk about these trade targets, because in my opinion, there's three. For me, there's the optimal trade target. We just talked about him, Dejounte Murray. The other one is if everything kind of aligns and his price go down just a little bit. And I think that's Malcolm Brogdon. Because Brogdon, his contract is perfect for the New York Knicks and a move they want to make in the future. The problem is he is a little bit injury prone and he does like playing where he is right now. He doesn't want to leave. He feels value there. And once you feel value where you're playing, you oftentimes don't want to leave. And I think everybody in the organization knows that too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him there as well. But again, those are not the only players repped by Klutch. We oftentimes forget, but shout out to Steph Bondi of the New York Post for giving us the following information. Rich Paul's current stable of clients include Dejounte Murray, Zach LaVine, LeBron James, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Trae Young, Tyrese Maxey, De'Aaron Fox, Fred VanVleet, Jordan Clarkson, Darius Garland, Jeremy Grant, and Colin Sexton. Do some of those names sound familiar to some Knicks fans? It sounds familiar to me. Oh yeah, that's because some of the names you just saw, they come up recently in trade talks for the New York Knicks and potential targets they're going after. Clarkson being one of them, Malcolm Brogdon being one of them, and the premier target among all of them being my favorite, of course, Dejounte Murray. I'll say it again. Those talks, because the Lakers apparently seem to be out, the Nets seem to be out, the Sixers seem to be out. Who's left? And among the teams that who left, who can't the Knicks beat in terms of an offer? The Knicks have the picks, have the players, have the assets needed to get a trade done with Atlanta. The only thing, again, they're waiting on is for that value to drop to a point where Leon Rose loves it enough to make that trade. But I think as of right now, given this meeting, what it signals more than anything else is that the New York Knicks and Dejounte Murray and that trade happening has absolutely gained more steam, gained more momentum, and I can see it happening more now than ever before. Because this meeting, before we thought about it, maybe a dream. We knew it should happen. It should happen. But would it? The fact that it has happened, the fact that other NBA insiders know how significant it is, because let me tell you, past Knicks regimes would not have done that. They would not have taken that meeting with Rich Paul. Leon Rose and his camp, they decided to take the meeting and open up and give the Knicks access to one of the best clientele lists in the entire NBA from Klutch Sports. Their client list has a lot of players that the Knicks want and desire. And now, would-be trades that were off the table are now back on the table. One of those trades include my favorite trade of all, the Knicks trading and getting Dejounte Murray. Adding elite players to a team does not hurt your team. It can only make you better, especially when you have a guy like Jalen Brunson on your team. He's going to make sure that you guys get better, you win, and you harmonize and synchronize like crazy. Because his work ethic, what he does for this team, his leadership, second to none. And now, with the access of all of this talent, only a matter of time before that announcement comes out and the New York Knicks finally make that trade that we've all been waiting for. But what about you guys? What do you think about this massive announcement that Leon Rose and Rich Paul met? And what do you think it means for the New York Knicks now and moving forward? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.